The movie opens with a promotion about artificial intelligence being incorporated into American society to make things easier for mankind. Joshua is living with his pregnant wife, Maya. She has a closer connection to the AI than Joshua does, and he has a prosthetic arm and leg. At night, their home is visited by a team of droid officers led by Harun, who bring a soldier into the house. Joshua privately interrogates the man, who happens to be his friend Drew. When the forces outside begin a raid, Maya learns the truth about Joshua and runs away from him. She escapes on a boat, but an explosive dropped by Nomad lands among her group, apparently killing her. 5 years later, Joshua works as part of a cleaning crew. During one of his patrols, he and his partner come across a droid, and they shut it down. Joshua is approached by General Andrews and Colonel Howell. They claim to have gathered intelligence that Nirmata is working to develop a super weapon that can potentially destroy Nomad, so they are recruiting Joshua to help stop them. He is ready to refuse until Howell shows him a holographic video indicating that Maya is still alive and working at the facility. Joshua joins a crew heading toward New Asia led by Howell. The soldiers antagonize the villagers before storming the lab and firing at the technicians before advancing. Joshua splits from the team and comes across a room where he finds the weapon. A little robot girl is watching cartoons. Before Joshua can apprehend her, a woman guarding the child shoots at Joshua and orders the girl to run. A gunfight occurs between New Asia's forces and Nomad's mercenaries. Joshua manages to catch up to the girl and gets her into a boat to escape. Joshua and the child end up in a deserted area. He finds the girl inside a house watching TV, where he witnesses her using her power to remotely control electronics. Joshua named the child Alfie. Joshua gets in touch with Howell, who orders him to bring the child to her. They are found by an adult droid who is amazed at seeing Alfie. Droid reaches for a gun on the floor, prompting Joshua to shoot him. This alerts nearby droid forces to that area. They fire upon the house until Joshua hops into a van with Alfie and drives away. Howell and her subordinate ride in a van where they kill a droid officer. Joshua and Alfie hitch a ride with a family after having to leave the van. At night, they pass through a checkpoint where Alfie uses her power to shut down the authorities' electronics. Joshua has to take over the van when they start shooting at them, but they manage to escape. Joshua and Alfie then take a train going into the city. They arrive to meet Drew, who now lives with his own robot girlfriend, Cammy. Drew has since changed his mindset about the AI community and works with Joshua and Cammy to examine Alfie. Later, a knock is heard at the door after Cammy orders ice cream for Alfie, but it turns out to be a bomb, and it kills Cammy. The New Asian authorities begin to fire upon the group. Before they can try to kill Alfie, Joshua manages to disable the droid officers. More officers, now joined by Howell, arrive and continue to attack. Drew is gravely wounded, but before he dies, he helps Joshua find Maya. Joshua and Alfie run, but are captured by a team of soldiers led by Harun. Joshua wakes up on a ship where he is locked in a cell. Harun speaks to him and tells him that the Los Angeles warhead was a man-made coding error that was blamed on the AI. He says that AI would never harm humanity. A panic situation is created as they realize they are being followed. Joshua escapes his cell and gets shot at, forcing him to jump into the water, but he holds on to the ship's hull. After the ship arrives at a village, Joshua sneaks his way to find Alfie and recover her. Suddenly, Howell and her forces arrive to attack the village, utilizing gigantic machines along with a suicide bomb robot that runs into the village to detonate. A second suicide robot runs across the bridge, but Alfie walks in front of it and uses her power to shut it down. McBride then shoots Alfie, breaking the connection as the robot blows up the bridge. McBride attempts one last shot to finish off Alfie, but Joshua kills him first. Harun guides Joshua to bring Alfie to a temple where Maya is. Joshua discovers that Maya has been in a coma for the last 5 years, and since the robots cannot harm Nirmata, they are unable to take her off life support. Joshua also learns that Alfie is based on his unborn child, who was scanned in the womb, essentially making Alfie their daughter. Joshua looks at his wife once more before pulling the plug himself. Howell and her goons then arrive at the temple and try to bring Joshua and Alfie in. Harun throws a bomb at Howell, but Alfie manages to stop the detonation. Howell's 2 goons try to shoot at her before Howell can call them off. The bomb kills all 3 of them. As more forces arrive to attack, Harun tells Joshua that Nomad must be destroyed in order for the war to end. On their way out, Joshua and Alfie are taken by droid officers. Joshua and Alfie are brought back to Los Angeles, where Andrews orders Joshua to kill Alfie. They appear to share a brief, tearful final moment before Joshua pulls the trigger. News of anti-ed protesters forming in the streets comes out, then the vans start to lose power and end up crashing into the street. Alfie is still alive, and Joshua plans to fake her death so they can escape. They make their way onto a lunar shuttle, heading towards Nomad. Andrews realizes it's too late and begins to make plans to use Nomad to strike down on the remaining AI bases. Joshua and Alfie make their way through the armed guards and eject them into space. Alfie uses her ability to completely shut down Nomad's power momentarily as Joshua tries to plant an explosive on one of their missiles. While they make their way to an escape pod, Alfie finds a room full of humanoid robot bodies and finds one of them, Maya, putting her consciousness inside in an attempt to wake her up and bring her to Joshua, but it looks like she is unsuccessful. Andrews activates a giant tentacle robot as Joshua and Alfie try to escape. Joshua manages to disable the robot, but he is left trapped aboard Nomad. After getting Alfie to safety, they share a final moment together, stating their love for each other before Joshua ejects Alfie. He then walks out and finds the Maya robot, who recognizes him. They embrace him as the explosive begins to obliterate Nomad. Alfie's pod returns to Earth. And that's the end of this recap. Make sure to subscribe, share, and comment. Remember, your engagement and support keep us motivated. Thanks for staying till the end. See you at the next